What's going on, guys? It's Cliffy here. Welcome to another episode of Career Reborn. But before we go and get any further, remember to smash the like button on this video. Let's aim for about 50 likes on this one. If you are new, hit that subscribe button down below. Trying to get to 8,000 subscribers before the end of the month, so that will be really cool. I think we're about 50 away at the moment. But without any further ado, let's shoot into what is happening in this game here. Today we are playing in the Ryobi Cup, I believe you call it now, in Australia. The final, the one-day final. South Australia taking on Tasmania, and we did exactly what you wanted to do, batting first. We scored, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was 300 plus. We had about 300 with 6 overs left to go, so plenty of time left, after that to obviously build on that lead there. And we're doing a great start here so far, 3 wickets inside the first 17 and a half overs. And we'll just be looking to go and continue building that pressure because the required run rate is already up above 7, and you can't really ask for too much more than that. 2 left-handers in at the moment as well, in Dunk and Ed Cowan. Bit of news about Dunk, I believe, from what I've heard, as he may be run out here, so that would be absolutely perfect, which he is. He's run out back in the hut by Callum Ferguson. But a bit of news about Ben Dunk. He has actually gone, I believe, to the Adelaide Strikers in the Big Bash League. He was like a deadline day trade, so he's gone there. So it'll be interesting to see what he does there. And they're taking off for another single here. Good golly! Almost, well, sorry, a run out the ball before and then almost a run out here. That is absolutely suicidal running from Ed Cowan. He just saw his partner be run out and then he thought, you know what, I'm going to go and do the same. So that is what is happening in this game at the present moment. World cricket at the moment, a wee bit to talk about. I'm going to start off first with a game that finished yesterday. Only got about 2.5 days play in total. Day 1 was washed out. That is the New Zealand-Pakistan test match, the first one. So Pakistan batted first, only made 133 in their first innings. Debutant Colin de Gronholm, who was brought into the side as an all-rounder, batted at number 6 in place, I think, of Jimmy Neesham, who was suffering a little bit of an injury, came in and you couldn't ask really for much more of a better debut. 6 for 41 with the ball for him in that first innings. And as I said, you can't ask for too much more than that on your debut. So he did that, and then I think the other bowlers, I think Southey chimed in with a couple, and then Wagner got, I think, 1 in the first innings. New Zealand's reply wasn't the greatest, 200 all out. Jeet Raval, another debutant, opening batsman debutant, who I think personally should have been in the Black Caps for a long time coming. He made 50, 55 in the first innings, and that was really the only innings of any substance, shall we say. De Gronholm hit 29, I think, and we are going to have some overthrows here, so that's a bit of poor backing up by myself, and those are the kinds of mistakes that we can't afford to make. We've got to keep the foot on the throat at the moment of this Tasmanian side, but yeah, obviously the debutant, both debutants doing well with the bat. I think Southey had 25 or so down at the bottom of the order. Neil Wagner did the same bit of hitting to get us up towards 200. Then in reply, I think, what did Pakistan make in reply? I'm trying to think what they made in reply. We were chasing 130, so 67 behind, made 67. I think Pakistan made about 200 in that second innings as well. The wickets were more shared around this time around. Neil Wagner also picked up his 100th test wicket, I believe, when he had, I think it was Yunus Khan, gloved one through to the keeper. So he picked up that. Actually quicker, Neil Wagner, to 100 wickets than Southey and Bolt, which is something that you wouldn't really think of. Obviously, Southey and Bolt are, the swing and seam kings, you would say. They're the guys that everyone talks about. I wouldn't say that Neil Wagner doesn't get the recognition that he deserves, because he definitely does. He's a very good bowler and complements those two very well, because he's a different type of bowler to those two. But it's very surprising. Surprised me as well when I saw that stat, that he was quicker to 100 wickets than both Southey and Bolt. I think he's the second fastest New Zealander of all time. Took him 26 test matches to get there, which is a very good effort, considering he's one of those guys who, is more in there for his aggression, I guess you'd say. But his aggression has really started to lead him getting to wickets, which, when the pitch isn't doing much, when it's not swinging and seaming, Southey and Bolt aren't as effective, but Wagner continues to run in, bang it in hard, and score you, well, not score you some runs, but take you some wickets, because he's bowling, not batting. But yeah, with that obviously being said and done, wickets were shared around. I think Bolt picked up 3, Southey picked up some, de Grandhomme picked up another one. He finished with 7 for the game. Missed out on best bowling by a New Zealander on debut. That on I believe still goes to Mark Craig last year, who had 8 for 188 in a Test match. I can't remember who that was against, but 8 for 188. De Grandhomme had, I think he had 7 for about 80, so his bowling average very, very good, and obviously scored a few runs with the bat as well, so he'll be in for the second test in Hamilton, which starts on Friday. And then Kane Williamson, he scored some runs. He basically led the side to victory in that second innings, had 60. I think he got out when we only required 1 run. I think he went for a sweep, got a top edge, and was caught, I think, by the fine leg. And Jeet Ravel, he was there. He finished not out on 36 in that second inning. So again, that will give him some confidence as well heading in. I think he scored about 90 runs in the majority of the test. So I think he scored about a third of New Zealand's runs that they did require. So that's a very good effort by him on debut. And that basically wraps up the test. Second test match in Hamilton, as I said, on Friday. Misbah-ul-Haq is going to miss that. He shot home, I believe, Sunday night with his wife for a family emergency. So that's going to be a big loss for the Pakistan side for the middle order. And just the overall experience as well. Misbah-ul-Haq is one of the guys, really behind, I guess, the Pakistani resurgence to the top of the test ranking ladder, I guess you would say, the test ranking leaderboard, the test rankings, really is behind him and his captaincy that they have gone up and got so high. I think they're still the second ranked test team in the world. So it'll be interesting to see who does captain the side. Personally, probably going to I think personally it's going to be Azhar Ali, who is the one-day captain. Possibly could be Yunus Khan just for a one-off test, obviously very experienced as well, but we will need to wait and see for Friday. I think the New Zealand side probably will go in unchanged. Potentially if Mitchell Santner is fit, I think he may come in for Todd Astle. Todd Astle only bowling about 7 overs in the entire test, and he made a duck as well with a bat. So, they could have gone, personally, probably with another batsman, or, they could have gone with an extra seamer. Maybe Doug Bracewell would have made the job easier than it was already for the Kiwis. But that is hearsay. That's not here nor there. You can't really speculate on that too much. The pitch, it could have turned out, it could have got play on day one, it could have really turned up in the Pakistan second innings. Todd Astle could have been very, very crucial, but, as I said, we won't know. Rained out on first day, and we've just gone through and cleaned up Ed Cowan, but it is on a no ball. Why couldn't we do that beforehand? Eddie Cowan, where's the big swing and ding before that? But we've finished another over, none for 23 so far. We haven't really had too many wicket-taking opportunities, but we have been economical, and we have allowed that run rate to continue going up. As you can see, 209 needed off 23 overs, and the other bowlers are getting the job done, so we're doing our bit. We are containing, frustrating the batters, and allowing the guys down the other end to pick up the wickets where required. So that is done and dusted. Another test match is going on at the moment, England and India. In India, England won the first test. The second test is actually very evenly poised. A lot of people saying that India are still the favourites, which I think they are. Heading into day 5, India require 8 wickets. They're 20 overs away from the new ball, and they need 8 wickets. So it's going to be very interesting to see what does happen. England, on the other hand, are only 300 runs, or 300, I think it's just over 300 runs behind. So, there is still plenty of time for them, obviously, to bat through and to get to that total. Because, 300 in a test day, it's not the end of the world. It's not something that is undoable, especially with 8 wickets in hand, and especially, I would say, with the way that this England batting side is playing. Obviously, Joe Root is still in. Ben Duckett, who is a new player to the England setup, hasn't really had a score of substance yet, but this could potentially be his innings. Moeen Ali, who's been in good form this series, and then there is also Ben Stokes after him, Johnny Bairstow, who's had a wonderful 2016 with the bat, so he is, due potentially. And then Abdul Rashid showed us that he can bat in the first innings. I think he had a 30 odd. So, you know, batting with a top order player, he potentially could go and get the job done. So it will be very interesting to see what does happen, as I said, heading into day 5. I think if England can survive through to the new ball and survive after the new ball, then they are going to be very much in control of that game. But I think if India gets some wickets before that new ball is due, then it is going to spell pretty much disaster, you'd have to say, for England. But they have fought really, really well in this test. India scoring 455 in the first innings, and England's response was only 255. So to fight back like they did, I think they bowled India out for just over 200 in their second innings. So a really good fight back by the Poms in that one there. And the third game that I am going to talk about today is a tri-series that's going on at the moment between West Indies, Zimbabwe, and I believe Sri Lanka. And that was played between Zimbabwe and West Indies. And we did have a tie, which is something that we don't have very often at all in one-day internationals. A tie we don't have, you know, full stop in cricket. You know, it is very rare that it does happen. And there were 4 runs that were needed off the last over for the West Indies. They had 5 wickets left in hand, and Zimbabwe were able to defend it, only went for the 3 runs, and with that, obviously, the tie did occur. So, neither win for either team. I think Shai Hope hit his first one-day international century for West Indies in just his second game in the one-day side, and I'm just trying to think who scored some runs for Zimbabwe. I think it really was shared around. There was one player whose name is just eluding me at the moment, but I can see it on the scorecard. I think he scored about 90, batted 3 or 4. I just can't remember. It might be Craig Irvine, possibly, who scored 90. But obviously 100 for Shai Hope. And this could be a run out here. Oh, I was going to say hit and he's gone, Ryan Bird. But Ed Cowan, he's still in there. He's still fighting away. And he's doing a very good job, actually. He is absolutely smashing it. We do have Zampa. Zampa hasn't bowled yet. And I guess that just shows the dominance that we have asserted in this game so far. So if it does go past myself, and I think Richardson is bowling down the other end, then we are going to have Zampa and probably a part-timer coming in. We've just bowled our second no-ball of the innings, so that's quite unusual. Normally, we don't bowl too many no-balls. I was just checking if this was actually recording. It is. Normally we don't bowl too many no balls, and that really is what has cost us, because we've gone for 42, which, you know, is quite high for us. Normally we don't go for too much more over 30, 35, but I'm saying that we are going to probably be close to the end of our 10 over spell. And as we can see, still 185 left to go. So we managed. Oh my God, I've done it again! God damn it, Cliffy! We got just under 350. I think we got about 330. But we've now bowled our second no ball of the over, and we just need to really try and focus a little bit more, because we want to pick up that final wicket. We want that 2 for 44. We want to lead the South Australian Redbacks side to the one-day title. Missed out on the what's it called? The Sheffield Shield. We finished last in that one. Really did start to focus on one-day games towards the back end of the season. But we've still got 3 balls left to go on this over. It feels like an incredibly long over so far. And Ed Cowan, he's moving ever so closer to that 3-figure milestone. 9 for 155, and Cowan has scored 77 of those. And you'd have to think that there's a few extras in there as well. He's just deposited that one into the stands for a 6. That is going to bring up his 100. So well done to Ed Cowan, the shining light, or the only light, you would have to say, in this Tasmanian batting card today. As I said, he scored 103. The rest of the side only managing 59, if my maths is correct, and obviously a few extras in there as well, because I bowled a couple no balls, and I'm guessing there probably will be some others as well. But we are still, I believe, carrying on. No, we're not. We are finished. We're done and dusted. As we can see there, the South Australian Redbacks are the Australian 50-over Cup winners, and we will take that, we will cherish it, and store it in the trophy cabinet for another day. Joe Meany, man of the match, 5 for 33 when it comes to a final. You can't ask for much more than that. And obviously, Hughes, Head, and Tommy Cooper getting those big scores. Myself there just missing out, but had a nice wee partnership with Tommy Cooper towards the end to get us up towards that score, almost 6 for 340, and a win by 174 runs in the final. Tasmania didn't even get to halfway to our score, so that is absolutely dominant. But anyway, guys, I am going to wrap things up here. This has been Cliffy, your King of Career Mode, signing out till next time.